Okay, we are, this is the midweek video for Northeast Christian Church, and where I kind of talk a little bit about our upcoming week here and everything. We have some, we are starting a new series this week entitled Flirting with Disaster. I'm extremely excited about all of this. I just finished it up today, and kind of the question is like, when you hear that word flirt or flirting, what's the first thing you think of? Typically it's going to be it's going to be like, you think of somebody, okay, you think of a flirt and everything, and that's not wrong and everything, it's right. But typically we think of that in that type of thing. It's like flirting, it's romantic kind of and everything. Well, we're going to be talking about flirting with disaster. And that disaster, I'm going to give you a different definition, and this is the one I use in the sermon. But just to kind of set this up, flirting means deliberately. All right. First of all, let me clarify this. All right. So typically we think of flirting as social behavior where we're trying to use our words or body language to tell somebody that we like them, that we're interested, hey, that kind of stuff. But here's the different definition. This is what we're going to be using for the premise of this series, and that will be deliberately expose oneself to danger or difficulty. Flirting. And the danger or difficulty that we're going to be talking about is that how we flirt with sin. Sin is a it's pretty, well, let's just say it's pretty disastrous. All right. Romans 6:23 says the wages of sin is death. And so literally what we are doing is we are paying sin to kill us, is what it kind of comes down to. And so that's what this whole series is going to be about. And the thing about it that I think is interesting that we talk about is that there are, the odds seem for a moment to be stacked against us. But what we will learn is that absolutely not. They are not stacked against us. The odds are not stacked against us. We will look at why it seems that way and who is attacking us. And I think one will be kind of obvious of who is attacking us, because it's the idea of having a target on your back, like somebody's looking to get you. And so I think it's going to be kind of obvious. One of them, you guys are all going to really figure it out, but the second one's not going to be so obvious, and which makes it that much more dangerous. Okay, it makes it that much more disastrous. And so it's a pretty interesting series, and it's a pretty interesting study that we're going to be starting this week. But like, that's the idea. When we flirt, we think of it as a romantic type thing and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, it's deliberately exposing oneself to danger or difficulty, and there's nothing more dangerous than sin. That's what it is. It has eternal consequences for us and against us. And so we're going to be going ahead looking at that. Our passage of scripture, our main passage for this week is going to be in Romans chapter 7, verses 14 through 25. It's a lot there, but I'm going to skip around in that a little bit. But also it's going to be in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10, which says this, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of put this out here. This is what this one says, and this gives us a clue into who that first individual that is coming against us, that is putting the target on our back. All right, it says this, finally, be strong. This is after he is already, Paul's already established the Christian life and how we're to walk and how to live. But he says that finally, be strong in the Lord, in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God, that's a picture that everybody loves, putting on the armor of God, like you're getting ready to go out into a fight, into a battle. And he says, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. And I think that's the interesting word right there. It's the schemes, okay? So, which means there is a plan out there to attack you. There's a plan to put a target on your back. And the question I have for everybody is, what is our plan against that plan? Do we have a plan? For the most part, we don't. We fly through life at the seat of our pants. Okay, we go on a whim for the most part. We don't have a plan for how to survive. how to live without falling into disaster, without falling into sin. We don't have that plan. And so this is the opening introductory sermon to this entire series, which will last 5 weeks. And we will be focusing on that, kind of like our plan for survival, our plan to not fall into temptation, our plan not to be dumb. And that's where this series is gonna go. It's I think it's gonna turn out real well. I'm gonna have Mr. Wayne help me in 2 weeks. I will be away at the end of this month, so I'm gonna start this week. I got next week, and then Mr. Wayne's gonna preach. Wayne Little's gonna preach for me on the last Sunday of this month, and I'll be back after that. Also, this week we have going on is we have the men's breakfast. I'm actually still right. I have, when it comes to the men's breakfast, it's once a month, and we're doing it the second week of the month because afterwards we're cleaning up. We got a big project to do. So, gentlemen, if you can come help out, the more hands we have helping, the better it'll be, the faster it'll go. And so I'd appreciate all the help that we can get. But basically, the title of, and I hate to show it to you, but the title of this Sunday for all the men is called The Self-Made Man, which I'll clue you in. Okay, I have literally nothing written down here. So I have my study. It's all right here, which this might not be saying much to some of you. Okay, it's all right here, but the self-made man, bottom line is a myth, total myth. Okay, and I'll prove that this Sunday or this Saturday. I'll prove that this Saturday at the men's breakfast. It has some pretty, have a really great direction that we're going to go with this to help us, because that's one of the things that we do deal with the men's breakfast once a month is we focus on how we can, ultimately be the man, all right? The man of God, the man of our house, the man that our wives need, the man that our children need. That's what this whole thing is about with the men's breakfast. And so 9 a.m., this Saturday, we'll feed you, and then we'll feed you, we'll teach you, and then we'll go out and work, okay? Get our sweat on. It'll be fantastic and great. But the self-made man, that is this Saturday, and I'm very excited about that. So that's what we got going on. We got some more things that are coming down pretty soon at the church. Got another new members class coming up. It's August 11th. If you're interested in that, come see me this Sunday. And we got core groups are going to be starting back up here shortly too. In August. In August they'll be starting back up. So if you're not a part of a core group, come see me. We'll help you out with that. And so that's what's going on at Northeast. Super excited. This Flirting with Disaster Week 1 is going to be a good one, okay? And it's going to set up everything else so that we can be prepared to understand who we are, understand the struggle that we have, because most of us know that we struggle, but we don't know why we struggle. This is going to explain a lot this week, and it's funny because probably once I start talking about it, you guys are like, oh yeah, we don't necessarily think about that. At least to think of that we have a target on our back, it's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird. Think that somebody's out to get you. Somebody's out to attack you, to hurt you. It's kind of weird thinking that way, but that is reality. It's a spiritual reality. It's not necessarily always just a physical reality. It's a spiritual reality. And so that's what we will be dealing with this week. And so I hope to see you guys on Sunday. Don't forget to be sharing the love of God. One person, invite them to church. Ask God, give me one person to share his love with. And I'll see you guys on Sunday, hopefully. Have a wonderful week, the rest of your week. And I'll talk to you later.